welcome to Alongside Lauren. I'm Lauren and I'm so glad that we're able to spend a little bit of time together this Sunday afternoon while I get a few bits and pieces prepared for my coming week to make the afternoons and evenings just a little bit easier. I have got cooking away in the oven some amazing slow roasted tomatoes. Oh, that we did last week, and they are just unbelievable. Ooh, let me feast your eyes on these. Absolute gorgeous, gorgeous oven roasted tomatoes. So they have been slowly roasting away in our oven for 3 hours at 140 degrees. We were having these with our breakfast last week, and they truly are just, it's like semi-dried tomato, but not quite as intense, I reckon. And they must be alright because Heath doesn't like semi-dried tomatoes. And
No, I find them a little bit strong and just a little bit too sharp or full on. But no, these are delicious. Yeah, absolutely delicious. They're still sharp and they've got a bit of sweetness about them, and yeah, very good. What have you got going on here?
Good. So we are about to start to assemble our Greek stack, which is a little bit similar to Mexican stack, or as it got referred to in my household growing up, sometimes Mexican lasagna, which is just, we're not even going to touch that. That's a whole other world of bits and pieces. So it is a Greek style tomato-based mince with some eggplant, and I have got silver beet stalk because we have that I've chopped up in there as well, and celery, chickpeas and turkey mince, along with some classic Greek flavorings of oregano and cumin with a little bit of coriander as well. Don't worry, I didn't cook all of that in the Thermomix, but I have added the turkey mince that I cooked in separately to go on top. And now I'm going to use, I just had to show off about how much I spent on these pita breads. 27 cents for 5 beautiful pita breads. Now I'm trying to remember, do I do mince on the bottom first, or is it pita bread?
My memory is 1 pita bread down first.
Great.
But hey, we can always mix it up. But look at that price, everybody. Oh, well, we had it for a second there.
Lauren, look at that price, Lauren.
Absolute bargain, 27 cents. And we've also got another meal that we'll be doing a little bit later with another price announcement, but you got to stay tuned for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very exciting.
This is in addition to the 32-cent garlic bread that we had with
our lunch.
Our lunch today.
Which was delicious. Okay, so you've laid down 1 pita bread just
Yes.
as is. Didn't do anything to it, right?
Correct.
And you've just popped the first bit of the mix on. How long did it take to prepare this mix, would you say?
Probably.
And what were the steps?
Well, I cooked down the sort of the onion and the garlic and a bit of olive oil, and then chopped up the veg to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess because I tend not to buy a lot of tinned chickpeas. I have a good stash of dried pulses, so chickpeas, red lentils, and other like sort of black beans and that sort of thing, and I keep them dry, and then I will sort of cook them as needed. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with tinned, but I like to buy them in bulk, and because it's not difficult for me to cook them, I guess, and restore them to their plump, protein-rich original beauty. So I sort of started the process of soaking the chickpeas and going through all of that last night, and finished cooking them off this morning before church. And I found when I do cook chickpeas from dried, that if I give them a little bit of time once they have cooked to kind of just sit in the cooking liquid, that it makes them beautifully creamy, not at all grainy, but not overcooked. It's a really interesting sort of a texture, which I like. This is where I get desperately worried that I have cooked way too much mixture.
It pretty much happens with every meal we do.
Guess the good thing with this though is that it does look like an awful lot of food, but it is to feed the two of us for 4 dinners. So that's 8 servings altogether.
8 servings. So we're going to cut this thing into 8 like pizza-like
Sort of
slices
wedges.
or
Yeah.
cake slices or something like that.
And then serve it with a beautiful green salad.
But they're stacking nicely so far. So this is your 3rd layer, I think.
Correct.
Yep. Now, I noticed also that you've got some cottage cheese over here.
I do. So I thought, just for something a little bit different, that I would make kind of like a moussaka style topping to go on top.
Okay. I'm not sure I know what that is.
So
but
a
that's okay.
moussaka is a sort of Greek dish which is layered again. Sometimes it uses potatoes with eggplant, and you would do kind of like a Greek yogurt or a bechamel sort of a topping to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I would take inspiration from that.
Well, so far it is looking very tasty.
Silver beet stalk, I should say, is something that you often wouldn't think that was necessarily edible, but it is perfectly edible. I think it's actually quite lovely and delicious cooked down, but because it cooks at a much slower rate than what the greens are, it is the kind of thing that can kind of get left behind or not utilized as much in the kitchen when you get a whole big bunch. But when you think about it, like you're paying for it all, so you might as well use it all up where you can. Smoothing that out, so we don't want the edges to be too dry. Oh, but then I don't want to cause structural issues either.
It is getting nice and tall.
No, we sort of created this dish a little bit earlier this year, and it was just so delicious that
Very tasty.
when I sort of remember that I had some pita breads in the freezer and just thought, oh, I'll make that and Heath will love me forever. I mean, you are contractually obliged to anyway.
All right, last
Number
piece.
5, last one.
Uh-huh. And you've finished with the mince, have you?
Well, I have finished with the mince. So what I will do... So I've got some... I've been so lazy. I've got some cottage cheese here that I'm like, I'm going to put this in a bowl. That's basically a bowl. So I have already added in some parsley and some chopped up spring onion. And I'm going to add in just some veggie stock powder to just boost the flavour a little bit.
I like this idea of using the last of the container. It makes a lot of sense. And a bit of
Add
your
a
yogurt.
couple of tablespoons
Now
of
this
Greek
is your yogurt, isn't it?
It is. It is. I'll be very smug about it. It's got a really lovely
Oh, it's, yeah,
consistency.
it's beautifully thick. Holds.
Feels really decadent, and so we'll often use that in place of sour cream, like to go on the side of things, which is really good. So we'll just kind of mix this cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, parsley concoction.
Delicious mix. That's pretty good. And you're just going to spread that on top, yeah?
Yep.
Love it.
So the cottage cheese will boost the protein content a little bit because we've only used 500 grams worth of turkey mince in the dish. There will be still quite a good amount of protein from the chickpeas.
Oh, yeah.
But it will just boost it. Good to get a bit of dairy in there too. Tra-la-la.
Well, that is looking brilliant.
It's like the weirdest cake.
Love a savoury cake.
Oh yeah. It's just us, so excuse fingers. And my wonderful husband has grated a little bit of cheese.
A little tiny bit, just
so we can gild that lily.
It actually wasn't that tiny, but for me it was. And I think you knew that that's how it was going to be. I've not been known to go light when it comes to adding cheese.
No, this may have been, I did say a very small amount.
I thought that it would need to be a little bit to get across the whole thing.
No, I said a very small amount.
So it's perhaps a little bit too cheesy.
Yes, it is too cheesy.
Okay.
But that's okay.
All good.
It's when you say to me 2 days in, I think this had too much cheese. Like you had absolutely
Yes.
no control over it. That I'm really looking forward to. And so now that is going to go into the oven.
Oh, yep. Brilliant.
Oh, geez, it's got some heft.
Yeah, it is a pretty chunky
I
unit.
hope that it will fit.
Oh yeah, it's a little tall, isn't it? Oh,
Oh,
good
it's
work.
close.
Perfect.
Whew. We'll pop that in for 20 minutes. We'll see how it looks. So I'm not too stressed about making sure that it's perfectly golden brown because we will give it time in the air fryer as we're sort of heating it during the week. Oh, you know what?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
is it wine time?
It is absolutely wine time.
It's wine time.
So we've got a Riesling in the fridge there. Oh, I forgot the nutmeg. Oh well.
Oh, was the nutmeg going on top?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
I see.
all right. We've got lots of cheese instead.
Lots of cheese and no nutmeg. We will survive.
Absolutely.
Nutmeg and Greek seems like an unusual combination to me.
No, we you'd normally use it in moussaka with the white
Okay.
sauce. So,
All right.
oh, that looks so good.
Great.
So, Heath and I have got a bit of a night off tonight, which is
Mm.
really exciting.
Which means that we can finish this off. Awesome.
Perfect.
That is quite a glass.
That's a
Enjoy.
glass and a half.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I love to do when Heath and I do have a Sunday night that has got some reduced responsibilities is to make a bit of an event of it, I guess,
Yeah.
and come up with, a dinner on Sunday night which takes a little bit more effort, I don't know, is slightly fancier.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really love when Heath and I go out for dinner, we've got some particular friends that we love to go dining with, Tim and Yen. And one thing Tim and Yen love to do is ordering like unusual sides, which is something I thought I would do to go with some lamb. So we've got some of the chickpeas here that I had taken advantage of while I was cooking up the ones for the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I would make, because we've had some really beautiful oranges recently. Like truly amazing oranges.
We possibly had the best orange we've ever had.
Yeah.
It was outstanding. So, yes, very, very good oranges this week.
Yeah. So one really good thing when you've, had something really amazing is to then like try and replicate it.
Yeah, no. Sometimes you just can never get that back, but that's okay. Embrace it, hey.
That's the spirit.
Embrace the time that it is.
Yeah. Feel its energy.
Yes.
So I am going to make like a chickpea orange-y kind of a side dish salad to go with it.
Okay.
So I am going to not use a bread knife.
Yep.
I'm going to slice up some celery to go
Okay. And what would you like me to do with the carrot?
with it. Well, do we want to... We can either grate it or we can sort of peel it into ribbons. What do you
Oh,
think?
yeah, okay. Might be able to make it a ribbon thing.
Oh, no, not with that.
No, that'll take a bit too long as well. No, I'm happy to grate it.
Great.
I'm happy to grate
Oh.
it. Ba-dum-ching.
So lately, our budget supermarket has had celery for quite a good price, sort of 99 cents a bunch. So we've had a lot of celery going into things. That's a terrible grater for carrot.
It really, really, really is.
You should use
But-
the other one, but you're committed to it, so...
The other one was in the dishwasher.
Is it? Oh.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure I put it in there.
What do we use it for?
For the carrot prior
Oh, yeah.
in the salad.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
So we also prepared a salad,
An enormous
a
salad.
very, very large salad that went as part of our lunch today, and will
will
be
be-
looking after us for the
Yeah,
week
for
as a
lunches
side
and
with our soup.
dinners. Yeah. The soup that I made, I made...
Go in detail, explain what your soup was made of,
well,
and the time,
let
like what
me-
you've done to prepare
Let me
those
take
things.
you back to
Yes.
Friday night. So I made the stock to go in the soup. Which meant I had some bits and pieces that I had been keeping in the freezer. So I had some lamb bones from a couple of roasts that I had frozen. I'd also been keeping a bag of like zucchini tops and carrot peelings and things like that as well, that I popped into the slow cooker with a bunch of water and some extra garlic and some bay leaves, and just let it cook overnight. And then on Saturday morning, I sort of drained out all the extraneous veg and added in some. We've had good luck at our supermarket with buying off-cut packs, so they're kind of like the leftover bits and pieces from their butchery.
When you're lucky, it's something like just a shank that's been chopped up into pieces.
I had some beef chuck offcuts, which were actually
very meaty.
very meaty and beautifully coloured.
Yeah.
That I browned off, popped in the stock along with celery, carrot, onion, potato, pumpkin, and a bag of soup mix. So I don't know if soup mix is something
Carrot
which
dressing?
is carrot that exists outside of Australia, but it's a mixture of barley, red lentils, and split yellow peas that just adds such a beautiful flavour base, I guess, to the soup. And so I added some oregano and then just let it cook away for sort of 12 hours yesterday. And it is just perfect. It made 14 servings. So 8 of which we'll have for meals this week. 2 we had today. And then I've got sort of 2 packs of freezer containers as well. That will have that sort of the last final 4 serves. And we had the soup today. I reckon it's pretty darn good.
Soup is very good. Very, very good. Yeah.
And so I've got my trusty container of orange or citrus zest that I keep.
And it's just a frozen one, isn't it?
It is. So before I slice this orange up, I'm just going to zest it in here.
It's a good habit to get into every time you go to slice an orange or to...
I mean, obviously, if I've got a
juice it.
recipe where I need like a specific zest flavouring, like lemon or lime or something like that, then I'll sort of go to that. But if what I want is just citrus, then this is perfect. And it's just flavour. And it's flavour that like I don't want to waste and sort of put it into the compost. And you can tell just how flavoursome it is by seeing those orange oils coming off the orange as I'm grating it.
Brilliant. It is. It's a very vibrant orange as well, isn't it?
It's beautiful. Oh, the smell is just so potent. Phenomenal. And so I will now just cut the skin off this orange and take as much of that bitter white pith as I can. These oranges are also beautifully seed free.
Yeah, that made them a joy to eat. I might get you to just cut a tiny slice for each of us while you're at it.
It would be the right thing to do. Well, you can help me decide if you think we need to do 2 oranges or just the 1.
Well, is this one of the only ones of that? I know that we had one
We had
orange
2,
left.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether this is the one.
Here we go.
Let's see. That is amazing.
That's so good.
That is very, very good.
So sweet.
Yeah. Yep. Very, very nice. All right. So are you going to cut that into slices for the salad? Are you
Yes,
going to
I
cut it into
will.
wedges? What? Yep.
Wedges, wedginal. So I will do sort of slices.
Okay.
And then, do you think 6 or
Like quarters or something? 6. Oh, yeah. So just little tiny wedges. Mhm.
Yeah.
Perfect. Nice. Mm.
I think
Well, while you do that,
I'm
I'm
just
going
gonna
to
have
sip on
some
this for a
wine.
bit.
I think the herb scissors. Oh no, they're right there. Do you want to just chop some spring onions to go into the
Sure.
salad as well?
Yep.
And if you can grab out the cumin.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing, like, sometimes there's quite a luxury of having a slightly fancier salad, and the greens that we're going to do with the lamb, which I will marinate shortly. We're going to do some kale that I bought yesterday. We went to the Madra show yesterday, and we did a sort of regional flavours lunch that was put on by the local TAFE.
It was awesome.
Which was just divine. And they had a sort of roadside stall that has popped up in Madra. It's a woman who used to work as a chef and is now a mum, but was just really worrying about the fact that it was just so hard to get good local produce near her, and when she knew that there were so many, local providors and people just growing stuff in their backyards, and so
she
decided
started something
to do
up.
something about it and just set up this really cool sort of roadside stall at the front of her house. So it's just become this big juggernaut of a thing. And yeah, we had the chance to have a bit of a chat to her yesterday, and just I really dig what she's doing.
Yeah, it was very cool. She was very talkative and very passionate about her food, and it was nice to talk to her.
So just add a bit of salt and pepper. I think we're gonna have to fill that pepper up. And we'll give it a mix. And that will be a truly spectacular side to go with our lamb.
So that doesn't have any dressing or anything, does it?
No,
it's
just with the
seasoned a bit with
oranges
cumin
will
and
kind of.
Oh yeah,
We'll do that.
Looks very fresh. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like it feels wholesome, like it's kind of doing you good, but not like a dry Rivita.
Haha, yes.
But it just smells amazing.
Very good.
So we'll pop some Glad wrap on that. It'll go into the fridge.
Way to go.
And it'll also, because we are making it a little bit ahead of time, it just gives those flavours an opportunity to sort of meld together a bit. And
But you definitely want it in the fridge then, don't you?
yeah, you do.
To keep it nice and crispy.
And while you're down there, can you grab the lamb out as well?
Sure.
So while Heath grabs the lamb, I've just got the last little bit of my celery here that we're not going to be eating this week, but I am planning, just because it will be good to use a few bits and pieces up, I'm planning to do a beef stew for dinners next week. And the celery is good now, and it's in the fridge now, but I don't know if it will necessarily be quite so good looking this time next week, so I'm going to give it a bit of a chop.
So while you're doing that, one of the things that we said we would surprise you with towards the end of the
Yes!
episode is
So
the
clickbaity.
price that you paid for this lamb backstrap,
Lamb backstrap. It's
which
got
is
beautiful
firstly
marbling.
perfectly sealed in a vacuum pack, which gives us confidence that it's going to have a pretty good shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a day out from expiry,
Yep.
according to them.
Yep.
But you froze it.
I did.
You bought it and you froze it, and now we've thawed it in the fridge.
Yep.
And it was originally about $10.
Yep.
And you picked it up for $2.
Yes.
So we have lamb backstrap for the night.
Very fancy lamb backstrap. So that celery, because I'm going to be putting it into a stew, it's going to be cooking down. I'm just going to put that in the freezer.
Oh yeah.
And that will be perfect
Yep.
to go into the stew. Like if I was planning on using the celery in like a salad or something like that, I wouldn't do it. But
All right. This looks like it's peelable, but I always doubt these. Hey.
it's like the
Oh,
the
this one's
cheese
good.
or the deli meat ones. They're
Yep.
always
This one's good.
super frustrating.
Smells absolutely perfect, which is what you want. Yeah, brilliant.
And lamb backstrap is a cut that I love, but I don't buy.
Do you know what it is?
Because it's expensive.
Well,
yeah.
it's expensive, but
So
is
you
it
know,
is it like a little tenderloin?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So the very premium cut.
So I've got here.
Am I putting it in here?
Yep. So from Rich Glen, which is a olive oil, or I guess sort of olive producer in near Yarrawonga, which is sort of on the border of Victoria, New South Wales, where we have family. I am slightly obsessed with quite a few Rich Glen products, including their orange and poppy seed salad dressing, which is
Oh.
the business.
Unbelievable. We had it on our salad for lunch.
Speaking of things that are meant to be easy
Do
for
you want me to have a go at this one?
Yeah, I would love you to.
It's
So-
that same problem, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so this is actually a roast lamb meat rub, would you believe? And so,
How convenient.
yeah.
I'm
Well, it would be if you could open the...
slowly but surely progressing my way. Oh gee, I still didn't quite manage, but it's quite a
It's like a salt. Or
yeah.
like a sort of
But it's
a
got a bit
herby
of
salt.
oil in it or
Yeah.
or something like that. So it's yep. Oh,
So-
it smells amazing. It's got rosemary in it and maybe a bit of
Going
thyme or
to
something like that.
just-
It's beautiful.
massage that into...
Rosemary, garlic, extra virgin olive oil are the primaries.
Massage that in.
And yeah, there's a little bit of pepper in there, a little bit of basil oil, and a bit of thyme. Beautiful,
Just a little
absolutely
bit.
beautiful.
And that will be just amazing. I'm
That
salivating
looks-
about it now.
Yeah,
just thinking about it.
yeah. That looks the business right there, for sure. So you're going to do anything else to it, or is that's the extent of?
That's the extent.
It's one of those things, isn't it, where we heard from a lady, I don't know if anyone's heard of her, called Nigella, and she was saying that when you've got really premium ingredients, you don't have a lot that you need to do to them.
No, you
right?
just like and
Like
and
they're
you don't
already
want to. Like,
pretty
you
much
want them to shine.
They're pretty much there and ready to roll. And
So we'll just let that. Oh, we'll pop that in the fridge now, but we'll bring it
okay.
out of the. We do sort of want to cook it at room temp, so I'll bring it out now.
you're gonna leave it out for a bit. Yep.
Yeah.
but yes, yes, really, really high quality produce. Do as little as you can,
Yeah.
and you still get that amazing. Well, that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
amazing.
It's just letting
It's
that,
absolutely
letting the
amazing as
produce
is.
shine.
So yes, and then when it's kind of the opposite, and you're trying to save a lot of money, and oh wow, oh wow, oh wow, it's done, everybody. Ooh. You can tell me whether you think that there's too much cheese.
But how good does that look?
Oh, hello, beautiful. Yeah, so it's got like a lasagna top.
Yeah.
How good is that?
So that's
I think it's the right amount of cheese.
the layers, and I think that Greek yogurt is really just going, and the cottage cheese is just gonna really up it a notch. But like that with salad, like that's made in the shade. And when we think about how much we spent on this, it was, using the silver beet stalks. It was using the reduced price bits and pieces that we had in the fridge, using up the rest of the cottage cheese, and just being able to take that little bit of time, add those herbs, and make it something truly amazing. And I hope that you have had the opportunity to do a few bits and pieces this afternoon that's going to make your coming week just that little bit easier as well. And we can't wait to do it all again next Sunday on Alongside Lauren.